What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Super Gamer Boys. I'm your host, Colonel and Dad, Garrett Morlang, and here in the virtual studio with me is the king of video games and resident power washer extraordinaire, Adrian Holmes. What's up, Adrian?
Now, we need to add. We can either add one or we can take one away, because you got to remember now we have to add Super Gamer Boys Fantasy Critic League Champion.
Well, is that
on
true?
Top of that?
Is that
that's true? You can check the board right now if you like.
All right.
Everybody's picks are in, and I came out on top.
Yeah, I guess you did. Look at that. You had 164.28 points. Wow. It's crazy. Wait, there's still game? Oh, okay, I see. These are just games that are either got delayed or whatnot, which is interesting that it still even shows them because it doesn't matter.
You just
anymore.
get zeros for it.
Yeah, you just getting some zeros. Second place was Chaz Cheeto with 132.52 points. Third place was El Chizo. A lot of we got Chaz Cheeto and El Chizo. Lots of cheese. A lot of cheese. 84.53 in third place. I gave him fourth place. Breaking Prime 77.5.
Yeah, you didn't do bad.
Especially for my wild picks. I had a counter pick.
Was it you? I was gonna say, was it you that counterpicked?
I counterpicked Starfield. And I originally had what was that game?
What were you
called?
thinking?
Crime Boss Rockay City.
That would have been a solid counterpick.
No. I had that as like a good game.
Oh, you dodged that bullet.
That would have took
actually,
you down.
Did Kojima have that as one of his?
No, you counterpicked it. I had it as my main pick, and you counterpicked it. And then, like a week before release, right before, like literally the day before reviews came out, I dropped it immediately. I'm like, nope, I'm out. I saw like one preview, and I'm like, nope, I'm out. Quick, shut it down.
This is gonna shut it down. I'm out of here.
Shut it down. You didn't have any negative picks. You had you had two that were zero because they just didn't come out this year.
Mm-hmm.
But otherwise, you didn't have any negative points, which was wild. I had negative points.
It's almost like I have an eye for good games. Isn't that weird?
I guess. All right.
I'm a good publisher.
Both of my counter picks I got negative points on because I had Starfield. I thought it was going to be worse than it was. Granted, it still wasn't great, but
fair, yeah.
I thought it was going to be worse. And then Gunbrella.
You know what though? With Bethesda, you can't bank on it being less than competent because they don't make incompetent games.
That's true.
So that was a bad bet.
That was a bad bet. And then Gunbrella, which I don't know what I was thinking on that either, because that's like a what's the name? What's the studio that produces that? Like they don't miss on anything, so it's like wild that I even picked that. Yeah, it's Devolver. So it's like I don't know what I was thinking on that one either. And I also got negative points on because you have to pick a new gaming franchise. I picked The Last Case of Benedict Fox. That one always looked cool for me. Like to me, like whenever I saw trailers and art and stuff like that, but. Yeah, it got like a 66. Like, ooh, it's not.
Didn't Kojima pick Forspoken?
Yeah. I think he did. Let me see. Yeah, Kojima had Forspoken.
They're doing everything in their power not to make that game $20.
Kojima didn't even like finish his board out. He had like 2 more slots for regular games, 2 more slots for new games.
There were a couple people that didn't finish their board.
And 1 more counter pick. Sorry about that, everyone. Not sure what's going on with my OBS, but it's crashed now 3 times tonight, so that's great. But yeah, Kojima had Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League.
Oh, brother.
Which not only didn't release this year, but also isn't going to be good. I don't know what he's thinking about that. He had Forspoken. That one didn't do so hot. Everything else was either just a 0 because it didn't come out this year, or it was positive. So that's good. Yeah, it was a fun time. It was a fun time. We had a good good run of it.
Alongside my crown, what's the grand prize? Have you said that yet?
The grand prize? I don't know if we ever decided there was going to be prize, did we? Hang on, let me look. Let me go to the very top of the chat. Let me go to the very first thing we said in Fantasy Critic. Let me see.
I mean, the title is enough. Don't get me wrong.
I mean, I don't know. I don't think we ever actually decided on a prize. I might have said like a merch pack or something like that, but
I'm part of the show.
I know.
I'm crew.
I'll have to look it up later. I'm sure I said it somewhere what the prize was going to be, or it was going to be a gift card. Is that what it was going to be? I know that was the thing for because you know how we also do backlog games. That's usually like a gift card or whatever. So maybe that's what it is. We'll figure it out. You'll either get a new title on the show or a gift card. We'll work it out.
That's fine. Keep me posted. I just wanted to let the world know that I know how to pick them. I got an eye for good games.
He knows a good game when he sees one. Alrighty. Well, before OBS crashes again, maybe we should move on with the show here. So today we're going to be talking about our thoughts on the Game Awards, the day before Studio pulls a fast one, and Kojima is now a Disney princess. But first, let's give a quick shout out to our Patreon producers, Bumple Smash and Kojima01, and our Super Gamer sponsors, Julie Bates and Mama Mare. If you want to be awesome just like those folks, head over to patreon.com/supergamerboys, where you can support us starting at just $1 a month. That's right, $1. You get episodes early and ad-free, such as this show, as well as Patreon-exclusive shows like Super Later Boys and previous seasons of Super Gamer Book Club. So be sure to go check all that out. And we'll talk more about our Patreon later on the show. Here at the top, I would like to give a shout out to Jack Sriracha and Yate for allowing us to use their music on the show. That's what you're hearing right now in the background. They have very graciously allowed us to use their music without, giving us a copyright strike. So I appreciate it. Although that's not entirely true. On YouTube, I've gotten a couple strikes for some Jack Sriracha stuff. I need to talk to him and be like, hey, it's okay. We have permission. It's probably, I assume it's not himself doing it. I'm sure it's like an automated thing, but it's just always really
most
funny.
likely.
Like, yeah, you can use it. And then we're using it. I'm like, wait a second, we're getting in trouble over here. No, it's all good. But go check them out. Jack Sriracha and Yate. Links for them are on the show description. Make sure to click the links down there. Listen on Apple Music and Spotify. All right, it's now time to check the mail. So that means it's
boot
time
on up.
to boot up Super Gamer Bot. It's been a couple weeks.
Howdy, fellas. Time for some questions. You ready?
Oh, we are ready. We are ready. We missed Super Gamer Bot. We missed you last week. I don't know if I actually told you, Adrian, but Kojima and I got in the recording booth and realized you took the power cord with you. Oh. So we couldn't start a Super Gamer Bot, so we had to read the questions ourselves, which it was fine. It was fine.
I had to deep clean Super Gamer Bot the other day, and I was so ready to just get out of here and get to the movie, which was fantastic, by the way, that I just forgot it was in my bag and took off. Didn't realize till I got home.
Can't believe it. Sorry, Super Gamer Bot. We won't let it happen again. Adrian won't let it happen again. No. All right, let's get into this first question here. Super Gamer Bot, do you have a question from Sir Burnsalot for us?
If you could only play one game forever, what would it be?
You could only... Wait a second. You read the wrong question, Super Gamer Bot. Hang on. Are we having technical difficulties over here?
What happened? Did she glitch out?
She's glitching out. I think she's glitching out. Are you sure that's the question from Sir Prince-a-Lot? The question that I have here. All right. We might need to do another deep clean. You might need to do another deep clean because she's confusing.
No, this is a system clean at this point.
We need to defrag the system. That was actually a question from Crimson. If you had to pick one game that played the rest of your life, what would you pick?
I see what happened here. The names got switched.
It's all good.
The users got switched.
Yeah.
GamerBot.
Technology, you can't trust it. So Sir Prince-a-Lot, that wasn't from Sir, that was from Crimson. So Crimson asked, if you had one game to play the rest of your life, can't play any other game, what would you pick? What do you got, Adrian? What is
Animal Crossing, duh. Animal Crossing, come on, man.
I just don't get that. I don't know. For me, I didn't get that much enjoyment from Animal Crossing. It was fun for a time, but for the rest of your life?
Dude, think about it. Animal Crossing is designed for you to be able to play that game for literal years. There is something to do every single day of the year, whether it be mundane. It's just like real life, right? There's days where you don't do anything. There's days when a lot of stuff happens. And it's the same thing. There's holidays, there's birthdays, villager birthdays, there's, little town events. All that stuff is going on in that game, whether you're there or not. So having something potentially to go into every day, like literally 365 days worth of content. Come on. Villagers move out, villagers move in. So there's always people rotating in. You never get the same people.
Yeah.
Sounds like a plan to me.
I guess so. I don't know. For me, it's just, I don't see the, I don't know, the long-term, because like you said, it's just like everyday life. So do you want to experience just mundane everyday life for the rest of your life in a video game? I don't know.
In a video game with villagers who are very interesting and are my friends, yes. Rather than out here in this hellscape, absolutely.
Yeah, okay.
Are you kidding?
Yeah. It does sound much better than real life. All right, you've won me over.
Right. Thank you.
For me, I probably would have normally in the past said, Metal Gear Solid, because I've already played it a bajillion times in my life, and honestly, I could play it a bajillion more times. I love that game. Or maybe Death Stranding, because even once you finish the game, you can keep doing side deliveries to infinity, forever, never finish, and there's all this cool stuff to unlock and characters to come across. But now, in the year of our Lord 2023, after having played the 2023 game of the year, Baldur's Gate 3, I think that would be my pick. Because honestly, it's kind of, I don't know, it's D&D, but in a video game where you can literally do anything and you can go down any story path you want.
Do you think you'll never exhaust all the options?
Oh, I'm sure I'll exhaust it at some point, but there's so many options with dialogue trees, like what missions and side quests you can do, people you can kill, you can be good guy, you can be bad guy. Like by the time I exhaust it, when I start back over, I'm not going to remember those things I did at the beginning. Like I feel like it's going to be one of those things where like, all right, now I'm going to start playing this way again. And it's like, it'll be completely new because it'll be so many years probably by the time I get to that point. That's kind of thing. So I don't know. That was my thought. I was like, you know what? That's a game that you could just keep doing over and over and over again. And who knows? Like we don't even know. They might come out with a DLC and new story missions.
You better believe they're coming out with DLC.
It'd be wild if they did.
As big as this game is, and now it's game of the year. Yeah, no, there's DLC coming.
So like, imagine like this base game is already just freaking massive, and then on top of that, like adding so much more potentially. It just seems like a no-brainer. But I guess we will see. All right, let's go on to the next question here, which is from Sir Prince-a-Lot.
There we go.
Hopefully Super Gamer Bot has the right one this time. Let's see. You got that for us, Super Gamer Bot?
What does Super Gamer Bot actually look like? A refurbished 1990s translucent Mac?
Whoa, GamerBot, stick up for yourself. You hear what he said?
How dare you? I look better than you, that's for sure, chump.
Whoa!
Okay, burn
Get him!
Burn
Get him, GamerBot, get him. That'll teach you. Prince-a-Lot.
That's great. I mean, it's not. So, to be honest, though, the voice isn't far off from that, correct?
So,
What the voice is based off of. Save Super Gamer Bot themselves doesn't, it's an AI. It doesn't look like anything, right?
It doesn't look like anything.
But what the voice is based off of.
It's housing, right? The voice is based off of the, what do they call it? The Macintosh text-to-speech hardware or software that has been used since, the original Mac came out in the 80s. And it's just kind of, it evolved from there. So that's what, we went through a list of options when we first, brought GamerBot to life. And as you remember there was a couple of times where it sounded like it was like Solid Snake at one point.
Yeah,
and then it was
Solid Snake.
A couple different other characters. And we tried this one and GamerBot liked it and they stuck with it. So
yep. It's a good one.
This is what we've been on.
Basically, it's the voice is like the original Siri before Siri was Siri,
Yeah.
No.
But we can't, because it's an AI, that means it also has its own brain. And as you can see, she'll burn you. They'll burn you. They'll burn you. You better watch your tone.
Watch your tone, Sir Prince-A-Lot. All right. Well, I guess that wraps it up for the questions. So thank you all so much for writing in. Remember, if you have questions about anything and everything, movies, games, life, about Super Gamer Bot, apparently, don't ask about Super Gamer Bot.
No, you can ask. Just don't be mean.
Don't be mean. Although, is that mean though? Those translucent Macs were amazing. I love those translucent.
Yeah, but he was like one of those old 1990s translucent Macs. It's like,
yeah, good point.
Man.
Good point. I make sure to go over. You can join us over at supergamerboys.com/Discord. Join us over there and chat with us and leave your own questions for the mailbag segment that we would love to answer here on the show. All right, Adrian, it's now time for the nerdy nudes.
It's now time for the nerdy nudes.
So I had to do that last week. That is so incredibly hard. I don't know how you do it. I struggle to get that out. I don't even know if it sounded good.
You gotta come from the core with it. You gotta bring it up and out.
It takes using muscles that I do not have. That's for sure. It was a struggle to push that high note out of there without like just cracking like a middle school.
Nerdy news.
All right, here. So we got a first news story for you. It's actually, we're going to be using this news story by Jason Finelli over at GameSpot, but really we're just going to be chatting about the Game Awards, our thoughts on it, and some of the big announcements that came from it. I guess from the top here, let's talk about our overall thoughts on the Game Awards before we get into some announcements. We already talked about a lot of this actually, so if you want to watch our live reactions and hear our thoughts immediately after the event, go over to youtube.com/SuperGamerBoys, and we have the full reaction there, all 3.5 hours of watching the pre-show and the 3 hours of the main show. You can watch all the reactions and also, our thoughts. So go check it out over there, the full thing there. But Adrian, now it's been a few days.
Mm-hmm.
What are your thoughts now, looking back on the Game Awards and being able to have conversations with other people, reading some stuff online? How are you feeling about that show?
So as far as a reveal or like an event for, introducing new stuff or new projects and things like that, it was well done. On the other hand, as far as celebrating the industry goes, it definitely left a lot to be desired. I don't think anybody got enough time to actually, to bask in their win. Like the Game of the Year winner, Larian, I think they started to get the playoff music, which is crazy. You would think that the biggest award of the night just let them go. Eiji Aonuma, who is a gaming industry legend, won for Zelda, and they started to play him off. Like, do you understand the fact that he's even here right now? Like, he could have just said, no, I'm not. What is That's crazy to me.
Crazy.
But
did you hear about the Larian thing? Where supposedly not only they won Game of the Year, Baldur's Gate 3.
Mm-hmm.
And they're up there and talking and giving like this heartfelt thank you to all the people at the studio, friends and family, all those people. And they're like, and we want to dedicate this to, apparently there's an employee that like passed away during development, and they're like getting ready to like give this heartfelt kind of like, and like kind of, a speech kind of, in not in tribute, but just kind of like in memory of him or whatever. And not only did they get the wrap up music, but someone on their phone was like recording it and happened to look back at the teleprompter, and it says wrap it up. Like literally
they told
like
Alnuma that too.
They're literally like putting like from the heart talking about this staff member who passed away, and it was just like meant so much to the team and like meant so much to the development of the game, and they're just like, out of time, who cares, let's wrap it up. I was like, are you kidding me? Not only they won Game of the Year, and then mid like very emotional moment now, and you're just like, get off the stage, like coming out with the shepherd's hook and yanking him off the side of the stage. How messed up is that?
There was definitely favoritism at play, right? Because everybody else had, get off the stage, and then Kojima comes out and he just gets all the time in the world to talk about a 30-second trailer.
Yeah, exactly. He had like way more time than he needed, and then there's a couple other actors who came and like freaking what's his name who talked about his broken foot for like 2 minutes. It's like, all right, we get it, dude. Like, who cares about your broken foot? It had nothing to do with the game.
Anthony Mackie was up there forever
making jokes that weren't even like. He's yelling at people in the crowd over nothing. Like,
right.
He just kept telling people to shut up. And I'm like, I don't know what's happening right now. So they get like, all these Hollywood big shots. You're getting 5-6 minutes.
They need to put out.
Talk.
You know what they need to do next year? If they're gonna do this, they need to tell everybody what the time limit is.
Yeah.
So that way you can craft your speech to be within that time window.
Proper expectations, 100%.
Right.
Yeah.
Because if I know, okay. Let's say everybody gets 2 minutes and 30 seconds for your speech. You can at least write a speech, and then you can tailor it, like, orate it at home to make sure that it fits in those 2 minutes and 30 seconds.
Yeah.
That's all you had to do this year.
They didn't even have that much time though. Like, honestly, if you time it, isn't it like there were some of those speeches
this year,
like they barely had like 30 seconds, like maybe a minute.
But I'm saying the maximum that people can take should be like 2.5 minutes, because 2.5 minutes out of 3 hours is what? Nothing.
Yeah.
And we only had maybe 10, 12 categories.
Well, and what's crazy, there's 10, 12 categories, but a lot of those they didn't even call up on stage. Like they would do batches. They would do batches of 2 or 3 awards all at once. Be like, and they won this, and they won this, and they won this, and they won this. All right, let's get back to the reveals, the world premieres that we said we weren't going to do.
Right.
It's like, oh man, I don't know.
My whole thing, after sitting back and looking at it, right?
Yeah.
If you're gonna call it the Game Awards, you have to show the awards.
Yes, 100%.
And you have to show, or you can do the run through acknowledgement for. Honestly, none of these should be considered small. Every role takes a lot of work to do. Every award, of course, way down to, not down to, but like from the sound to the programming to the actors, all that. It takes a lot of work and a lot of talent, and everybody deserves to be recognized for their work, of course. But if you're going to run through the smaller ones, you have to have some kind of format where they could pre-record tell them they're winning ahead of time and tell them hey, pre-record a little 10-second message, something.
Yeah, something. So
that way you can get your face out there and you can go, hey, I'm thankful for this award, thankful for everybody who got me here, blah blah blah, done. But that way at least that creator gets their face out there and they get to thank who they want to thank, and they're not just another face or just a name that nobody knows. Yeah,
100%. Sorry, those who were watching on stream, OBS crashed again. We're back now. So we just lost a bunch of video recording as well. So this is going to be a fun one to edit. We talked about this too at the show, like in the post show, but it's like they need to decide, like, what are they? Is this a game? Is this an award show, or is it a reveal show?
Is it Winter Game Fest?
Yeah, and honestly, like I wouldn't mind it if it was just an award show. That'd be great. Like, just make it like it can have a couple announcements, but if it was half the time and only an hour and a half, and it focused more on the awards, like that'd be awesome. That'd be great. And then go through speeches and then just do a couple trailers. Like, it doesn't need to be 3 hours long, and it also doesn't need to be like so jam packed with like announcements. It's not, he owns Summer Game Fest. That's his thing. So just hold it for Summer Game Fest, or start a new separate show that's just like, hey, here's a Winter Game Fest, or like a little teaser, like, hey, this is.
I saw somebody have a pretty good idea, and they said, well, why don't you just make it a 2-night thing? One night could be the reveals, aka the Winter Game Fest version of it, where you have the reveals, the announcements, all that, and then the second night is the actual awards, where it's just award, and the concert.
Yeah.
That way you get the best of both worlds. People get acknowledgement one night, and then you get all your big reveals out of the way the other night. You can split your guests up between the nights, have some for some nights, and then have some for the other night. But that would be the best way.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea, actually. I mean, other than I could see with just like splitting it up like that, like their worry is like, oh, well, then people who view the one show, what if they don't come back for the next one, or they watch one and they're gonna watch one and not the other? Because obviously, like,
it's not for the public. Look, these awards are not for the public; they're for the creators.
No. But I'm just playing like from Jeff Keighley's headspace. It's about the numbers. It's about, like, he loves putting out that tweet the next day saying we had X million views on our things. So It's 100% about the numbers, unfortunately, even though, like, it shouldn't be. It should be about celebrating the industry.
So is he actually doing this for the love of the industry, or is he doing it to profit off the industry?
Yes. Yes.
Because it sounded a lot like the latter. I'm just saying.
No, 100%. It's probably the latter. I mean, otherwise it wouldn't be what it is. Like, that's like, I don't know. Yeah, it would just be an award show, but the fact it's so much more, like, it's very obvious. His goal is to profit as well. Profit as much as possible. His original intentions 10 years ago with it might have been to celebrate the games industry, but now that he sees the dollar signs, he's like, oh, wait a second. There's money to be made here. But I don't know. It's unfortunate. But we can get into some of the announcements, though, even though we're just talking about how, like, I wish it was just one or the other, or like commit. There were some neat announcements nonetheless.
Oh yeah.
So let's see, scrolling through this list. We don't have to talk about everything on this list, but I'll just mention a couple. And if we have any feelings on it, we can talk about it. So Brothers, A Tale of Two Sons is getting a remake. It launched in 2013, so about 10 years old. And they're coming out with it, totally remaking it from the ground up, new graphics and everything. I didn't play the original. I don't know. Did you play the original Brothers, A Tale of Two Sons?
I have the original. I don't know why I never got around to playing it. I've heard it's very good, but I feel like at this point I might as well just wait until the remake comes.
That's true. Real quick, Soak7 plays in the chat, says Gonzo gets more time than Game of the Year. It's true.
That is true.
Why did a freaking Muppet get so much time?
And it wasn't even a great Gonzo bit. That's the worst part.
It was not good. This is one I'm stoked about. Pony Island 2 Panda Circus. That seems wild to talk about. Absolutely bonkers thing to say, but it's by the developer, the guy who developed Inscription, the creator of Inscription, which Loved that game when it came out. The next game from Daniel Mullins. It features first-person open-world gameplay mixed with a 2D game within a game that mixes multiple formats with old-school pixel gameplay. The game is slated for release in 2025. So sad we have to wait 2 years for it, but Inscription was...
There's a lot of things we have to wait 2 years for now.
That's the other thing. A lot of these announcements coming in 2025. There's actually very little looking forward to 2024. Like we looked at it.
What are we supposed to be playing next year?
I don't know. Yeah. So on our recap, our post show, our Game Awards post show, we were talking about that. We brought up a calendar with all the games that are announced for next year. And literally there's a lot, but even a lot of those have like TBA next to it. Like this is 2024 with no date. So, but the ones that are like solid, there was like 3, right? Like 2 or 3. That was it. It was wild. It's like, all right, we'll see. I don't know what next year is going to be like. Let's see. Rise of the Golden Idol. I don't even remember that one.
Can we talk about the big one? No. Yeah.
What's the big one?
Sega.
Sega. I was going to say Sega.
Come on.
Let's see, God of War Ragnarok is getting DLC. I'm trying to find it. I want to find the image. So while we're talking about Sega, you're right. Sega is remaking how many games?
Sega is reaching back into its bag and bringing out all the dormant classic IP, and they're remaking all of them. There's new titles in all these series. There's Jet Grind Radio. They're making a brand new one. They're making a brand new Shinobi, a brand new Streets of Rage, a freaking brand new Golden Axe, dude. Golden Axe? When's the last time you heard somebody talk about Golden Axe?
Never.
Never.
Not since ever.
I feel like I'm one of 3 people who know what Golden Axe is. And then a new Crazy Taxi, and these are all in development right now. I put a tweet out a little while ago today, and I said, if there was ever a moment or momentum that Sega was looking for to get back into the hardware game, it would have been right now. Could you imagine a Sega console coming out with a lineup like that? Oh my God.
Jeez.
It just like, nuts. I don't know what you call it. You can call it maybe like a new like Genesis, play on
Dreamcast
something.
2.
No, you don't want to call it Dreamcast 2. No. I would call it like a I don't know, Genesis? Nah, something Genesis. I would work with that.
Dreamcast. Trying to think. Yeah, it'd have to be like something. Yeah, that would have been wild. Yeah, imagine launching with these games, which is like such a classic lineup for them, like classic titles for them. Regenesis, as Soak7 plays in the chat says. Regenesis.
I mean,
that sounds like
we'd have to play with it, of course.
That sounds like the title of Final Fantasy VII remake game, Regenesis.
But just, oh man, like this would have been. Just imagine that same trailer, and then it cuts to black, and then just the silhouette of new hardware fades in, and it's new Sega hardware, and they announce that they're back in the game, baby. Crazy. Oh no way! I'm hyping myself up on something that didn't even happen, but could you imagine?
So you're gonna think this is wild. This GameSpot article that I'm pulling from doesn't even have that listed on the biggest announcements. I just scrolled through all.
How?
I just scrolled through the whole list of like biggest announcements for the Game Awards, and that's not one of them, according to the GameSpot. So,
well, whoever wrote that list must be 10.
We might be. Are we boycotting GameSpot now? Is that what's happening? No, just kidding. They're
they
anti.
Must be 12 years old.
12-year-olds writing for GameSpot now. I mean, honestly, could be.
Yeah,
could
no,
be.
dude. I was blown away when that original when that reveal came up and showed that all of these were in development. Of course, it's gonna be over the next few years because I'm sure they only, I bet you Jet Grind Radio is the only one that's probably far in development right now. So I think
they even said in the trailer
next year some change.
Yeah, I think the trailer even said like, yeah, these games are coming out over the next few years. They didn't give it dates for anything. They just said over the next few years, these games are in development. So it's like, all right, we might. This could be over the next like 6 or 7 years. Like we see like one of these a year, maybe, kind of slowly coming out.
Oh man, could you imagine, dude? Like they still have Virtua Fighter, they still have Virtua Tennis. They could do Sonic Adventure 3. They could do a console with this lineup would be killer. I would be there day one. Oh
man, so good. So let's see here. Blue Crimson in the chat says, Jeff, how do we top Gonzo at the Game Awards? Sega, hold my beer. So true.
Yeah, man. I was stoked.
I mean, I got to talk about the real biggest announcement, the one that we kind of criticized earlier.
Let's go ahead and talk about him.
We got to talk about it. We got to talk about it, dude. The long-rumored collaboration between longtime developer Hideo Kojima and Xbox is finally revealed in a bizarre trailer with multiple people reciting the same speech in different ways. Jordan Peele was also revealed to be collaborating on the project called OD, which is exactly what was leaked, a year or two ago. I remember I was talking about it on the show.
Oh, man, you gotta set the stage better than that.
Game called Overdose.
Kojima takes the stage. It's silent. Him and Keeley just standing there with his interpreter.
Well, you gotta say, before even that though, I loved that their entrance on the stage was through the door from PT. The same sound effect and everything with the door, like or you hear the
fog billowing out of the door.
Fog coming out.
A bright light shining behind the silhouette. Who is it? He steps out. It's Kojima. Crowd's going crazy.
Going crazy.
Comes out, talks to Jeff for a little bit, drops the Overdose trailer.
Yeah.
Does the usual, I'm glad you guys like it. I'm working hard on it. Jeff Keighley says, thanks for everything, Kojima. We're going to go ahead into the next. Lights cut. Lights start flickering. And what happens?
Dun, dun,
the Us
dun,
music
dun.
starts playing. The door opens again.
I didn't get that reference until this weekend when I finally watched that movie, but I was like, oh, that makes so much more sense now.
The door opens again. Another silhouette in the bright light. And who steps out this time? But out of left field. Well, not really left field, because apparently they've been hanging out a whole lot.
Yeah, on Instagram, it's like every other week there's Instagram stories of them hanging out. But
none other than Master Director Jordan Peele steps out. Walks over, stands next to Kojima, confirming they're both working on OD. It's a collaboration game between the two. Garrett's mind's blown. My mind is blown. We are freaking out for a good 5 minutes straight on the VOD.
Adrian's internet was blown. That was right when remember your internet cut out then too. I was like, what's going on? Oh no.
I got back just in time to see Jordan Peele.
You hopped on, you're like, what did I miss? And I'm like trying to explain it while also listening to Kojima's interpreter. And then like all of a sudden they're like, wait, someone else? And oh, what a crazy moment. I wish the VOD, because your internet cut out and it kind of like messed with like our VOD. So like the webcams were off. I wish it would have saw my reaction. All you see is like my arm because it like moved the webcams or whatever.
What?
I was so bummed, but I was like, if it would have saw my face, it was like, no way.
Oh man. What a moment.
It was brilliant. So good. Yeah, so I've watched that trailer countless times already. I am so excited. I'm so ready for this. And what's even crazier is I love how Reddit just explodes with all these crazy conspiracy theorists like immediately. Like it's all these people like
looking at any of them
digging into the trailer and like, ooh, all the hints and clues. Yeah, there is tons of theories. Like they found letters like inside their mouths. Like if you turn the contrast up and it spells something and blah blah blah, and they're like putting clues together. It's like, oh my gosh, I love it. I love. You guys have fun with that.
I'm gonna let the game tell me what the mystery is. Okay.
Hang on, real quick. Blue Crimson in the chat says Super Gamerbot trying to sabotage the stream from the Mac insult. It's 100% what it is. Coming for us. We should probably move on then before OBS
crashes. She's jiggling the Ethernet cord in the back.
Jiggling something. Geez, I don't know. It's my entire CPU or something. All right. Yeah. So there, I don't know. Other than that, like, what was there? So yeah, I kind of briefly mentioned it. God of War is getting some DLC that's free, coming out today.
Ikumi's new game.
Oh yeah. What was it called?
Oh my God.
This article is.
It's in Japanese. Good. I'm trying to remember, dude. Hold on.
Oh, Monster Hunter Wilds as well.
Also, yeah, I was going to get to that as the last thing.
Don't forget that. Okay, sorry.
Hold on. It's called Kemery.
Yes, that game looks so cool. Like, I don't know what's going on, but the style is just oozing from it. It looks so stinking good.
Yeah, that's all I needed to see. Ikumi does good work, dude. She's been a beast at this. She's worked on the original Bayonettas. She has a heck of a track record. And The Evil Within.
Okay.
So she's not new to this.
No, knows what she's doing.
So when I heard that she was starting her own studio, I said, "Oh, you guys just wait." She also worked on that that was her last game with Tango.
Evil Within? Or you said that?
No.
Hi-Fi Rush?
Wire. Tokyo Wire.
Oh, Tokyo, yes. I know exactly what you're talking about. Ghostwire Tokyo.
Thank you. Ghostwire Tokyo. Yes. So she's got quite the resume, dude. So when I heard that she was heading up a studio, and now we finally get to see the fruits of what they're working on.
What's crazy too is when they introduced it on the Game Awards, like Keeley came out and he's like, they don't even have a producer yet, but like she wanted to really show it off. So I told her, like, you know, he's like, or he invited her, like, please show this on our show. Like, I guess from the way he tells the story, at least, like, she was having second thoughts because they don't have a producer, they don't have anything yet, and he's like, nah, we're gonna show it here. So
no, you're going in the right direction.
Yeah,
dude. So you're good.
That's
you're
amazing.
Good.
I was like, heck yeah. We got Marvel Blade.
Yes,
which is
from the Deathloop team,
from Arcane Lion, who made the Dishonored franchise and Deathloop. Both fantastic games. And it's
Have you seen how weird they've been being about it, whether or not it's an Xbox exclusive?
Well, I assume it is. I mean, if it's being made by Arcane Lion, it's a Bethesda studio. Right. Like, it's probably going to be Xbox exclusive.
But it's like you can't find anywhere where the Xbox name is attached to it at all.
Even in the trailer, it didn't have Xbox Studios. Oh,
it just said Marvel's Blade. And then there's been articles or something like that where they don't mention Xbox at all.
I wonder if it'll be multi-platform then.
That's what I'm thinking. I think it was a stipulation from Marvel.
That would be wild, only because like with Spider-Man, they've allowed them to have it exclusive. And well, I guess now it's on PC as of last year or whatever, earlier this year. But otherwise, Spider-Man's not on Xbox, so that seems weird that they wouldn't give Xbox unless it's a PlayStation thing. Maybe when they signed the deal originally for Marvel Spider-Man, maybe there's some deal that hasn't run out yet. So like other people can make games, but it just has to be multi-platform, where PlayStation is allowed to do exclusive games, maybe.
I mean, it's definitely possible.
Like they got like some sort of exclusive gaming rights or game development rights to an extent, you know? So, either way, the trailer, so cool. It was totally unexpected.
Yes.
Although,
those vampire teeth showed up.
And just to clarify too, because a lot of people were complaining, I started seeing people saying like, "What? Like Arcane? Like they've already made a vampire game and it sucked. Why would we let them make another vampire game?"
Not this, there's many different Arcanes. This is not that Arcane.
Arcane Austin is not the same as Arcane Lion.
Right. This is good Arcane.
Yeah. They are different studios, all under the same umbrella, but very different studios. Arcane Austin was they made Prey, didn't they? They did Prey. I'm trying to think what else they did.
Good Arcane was maybe a bit too hard of a jab. I'll say consistent Arcane. How about that?
Yeah, there you go.
Because they're both good, because Prey was very good, Nobody played it, unfortunately, but Prey was very good. It's just that they went from Prey to this, and
Prey to Redfall, yeah.
Right, Prey to Redfall, and Redfall was not very good at all. So it did kind of ding them a little bit. But when any Arcane, if they're working on a project they want to work on and they're given, the range to see their vision through, Arcane is a force to be reckoned with, dude.
Oh, yeah, they're up there. They're top dogs, in my opinion. Deathloop was an incredible game, and then even Dishonored, I've only played a little bit.
Dishonored 1 was great, and then Dishonored 2 was better than that. So,
yeah. So, this is going to be a phenomenal game, I can imagine. I mean, and with Marvel's oversight, like, they're so far with all their games, like, they don't let garbage slip through, for the most part. That was kind of before, though, wasn't it? That was like...
That's a Marvel's game. It says Marvel's.
I know, but what I'm saying is like...
Spider-Man, just like Marvel's Blade.
But wasn't that pre, like, Spider-Man? Like, I feel like after that game, that's when the quality jumped, if I remember right. Because, like, it was almost like, oh, this was bad. Didn't they come out
at the same time?
Maybe they did. For some reason in my head... I don't know that. You'd have to fact check that. But... I'm too afraid to fact check because I don't want OBS to crash again on me. lose our podcast recording more than we already have. But yeah, maybe you're right on that.
Yeah, it was 2020.
Okay. Interesting. Very interesting. Okay, I take that back then. And they do have misses. I thought it was before. I thought it was a case where like Avengers came out and then they're like, shoot, we need to fix this, and then Spider-Man came out, but I was wrong.
Yeah, so what we got Wolverine coming, there's a Black Panther game coming, there's that game with there's that game with Captain America, and there's a couple other people that are with him in some kind of squad that's supposed to be coming out.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, anything we've heard has just been leaks and rumors and speculation. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see if those even come to fruition. It seems like they kind of got their hands full with Wolverine and now Blade. So
yeah,
we might
get
not
these out the door first.
Yeah, we might not hear about those for another like 3-4 years. I would assume.
That's fine.
All right. Was there any other big announcements you want to talk about? This article is kind of useless. I keep scrolling through here and I'm like, they have Guilty Gear Strive on here and Stormgate.
I mean, we can cap it off with, of course, Monster Hunter.
Yes. Monster Hunter Wilds.
Man, crazy. That's another one. That's almost like an equal pop off to the Sega thing. What were we? The trailer came on and we were looking, and Gary, you were like, "What is this? What is this?" And I said, "What?" And I saw, what was it? I think it was the mount that came over the hill or something like that in the trailer.
Yeah, it was
something. And I said, "No friggin' way, no way!" And you're like, "What? I said, "Dude, this is Monster Hunter." And then the Capcom Presents comes up. And I'm throwing stuff left and right. I'm hitting the desk. Let's go.
No way. That was so good. Yeah, the trailer looked great. Like just showing off like multiple biomes, multiple creatures, like all the monsters you could ever want to hunt in the wild. I don't know. They say 2025. We'll see. It looks like a pretty ambitious game. I mean,
they don't usually delay the Monster Hunter team.
What's that?
The Monster Hunter team, they don't usually delay.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Well, we'll see.
I remember anyway.
The fact that, I mean, that checks out too. It definitely seems like they must, like, as much as they showed off in this trailer, I'm like, all right, like they wait. They hold on to their guns before they go showing them off. They're like, hang on, let's make sure we actually have a good chunk of stuff to show off before we actually do. But yeah, I don't know. I'm excited about this. I didn't play a ton of Monster Hunter World, but what I did play, I did enjoy. Like, that was one of those I jumped into. I'm like, oh, dude, like, this is great. So if that's the case, if this is like that, but just bigger and better, then heck yeah, I'm in.
I mean, the 3DS servers are still up. We can still get in the 4.
I have it on my 3DS. I bought it right before
we got till what? What is it? April?
Store went down. Oh, they're shutting down servers too in April? I didn't realize that. Oh, I thought they were just shutting down more store stuff.
No, it's kaput after April.
Oh shoot. Well, maybe we will need to figure that out. It would be kind of cool. All right. Well, if you don't have anything else, we can move on here with the show. Unfortunately, because our stream and our recording has dropped so many times, I don't know where we're at in the show notes because normally I have a timer going, but the timer's not going because OBS crashed.
We're on the second story. I know that.
We're on the first story still. We haven't even gotten to the second story.
Now
we're on the second story.
Right.
Let's see. Oh, here's my timer. Okay. We're an hour and 2 minutes on my recording. All right. We could do one more story.
Okay.
Well, you guys are going to, I mean, the Kojima corner, we'll just touch on it real quick. That's all. It'll just be a little touch, move on. But first, story number 2. This news story comes from Alex Stedman over at IGN. The day before Studio Fantastic announces, that's the name of the studio, is Fantastic, announces closure just days after early access launch. In a bizarre update to the day before saga, Studio Fantastic has announced its closure just days after the game's launch in early access last week. Today, we announced the closure of Fantastic Studio, the company said in a statement on its Twitter account. Fortunately, the day before has failed financially, and we lack the funds to continue. All income received is being used to pay off debts to our partners. Fantastic adds that the future of the day before and prop night is unknown, but the service will remain operational. It has since been delisted from Steam. Crazy. The statement also makes a point to note that we didn't take any money from the public during the development of the day before. There were no pre-orders or crowdfunding campaigns. We worked tirelessly for 5 years, pouring our blood, sweat, and tears into the game. Still, the closure comes after fans still did spend money on it, with it costing $39.30 in early access. Some players were already asking for refunds. However, even before today's closure news, the long controversial game's early access launch was a rocky one to say the least, with the Steam page being flooded with negative reviews. Not only was the day before plagued by bugs and server issues, but there were also complaints that it wasn't even what was initially advertised. While labeled as an open-world MMO, many were quick to point out that it's actually an extraction shooter. The backlash was so bad that its players count dropped almost 90% in 4 days, and it soon entered Steam's 10 worst reviewed games of all time. That troubled launch followed an already controversial development period. Fantastic first revealed the day before back in 2021 with a 5-minute trailer stoking excitement for what seemed to be a vast zombie apocalypse MMO. The cracks, though, quickly began to show, particularly surrounding the studio's use of unpaid workers. The team defended the practice back in 2022, saying the company's values are built upon the idea of volunteering, which means that every person who works or volunteers here is doing that willingly.
Excuse me?
Wild. It too faced multiple delays, copycat allegations, and even a trademark dispute. By 2023, much of the community had turned on the day before, with many even accusing it of being a scam. Following the news of its closure, many fans are renewing their calls for refunds on Steam. Wild. So basically, they shut down all their
I didn't hear about that part.
They shut down all their social media, closed down all their accounts, pulled it from Steam. And they're just like, peace, we're out. And according to Soak7 Plays in the chat, this is not, I don't have any articles. So Soak7, if you have like a reference to this, that would be great. But yeah, Soak7 in the chat mentions, though, the estimated they made $4 million after all the refunds. Which,
I believe it.
That's a good little chunk of change there. To basically get free labor for 5 years from volunteers and then put out a game, make $4 million and peace out, probably just in time too. I wonder, how does that work? Like if they just shut down the studio and peace out and then people on Steam are like, I want a refund. Where does that money come from? Does it come from them? Or does Valve have to eat that?
I think Valve has to eat that.
Because normally it would come from the studio, but because the studio technically shut down, yeah.
And Valve's policy is you can get your money back.
Yeah.
You know what though? Valve is probably in a position where it doesn't really matter. You know, like when you return something to Amazon, they're like, it's not worth it for you to ship it back to us. Just keep it, and we'll either refund you or send you a new one of the thing.
Right. Yeah.
So they may be in that position where, you know, only 100 people bought this game, so just give everybody their money back. It's fine. It's nothing.
Just Control A to select everyone on the list. Refund.
Right.
Just like whether they asked for it or not. Get it done and over with.
I doubt it hurt Valve very much to have to refund everybody who bought this game, because I'm sure nobody bought this game realistically.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, it's Soak 7 also says, in the article, it mentions that servers are going to stay up, but realistically, like, is that actually going to happen? I have a feeling.
Well, they probably prepaid for so long.
That's true.
Because you have to pay for server time in, what is it, months or years?
Yeah. They probably have like 6 months and then it'll be down. What's wild to me is, I mean, I understand why they did it, because obviously it was a cash grab, but for them to just launch it and then 4 days later be like, oh, shoot, we don't have enough money. See ya. It's like, you guys knew exactly what was going on here. Like,
exactly, Garrett. You cannot in 4 days be like, go from, we're doing great, we got millions in the bank, to suddenly we have to close down. They knew months in advance that they didn't have this money, and they played in people's faces like they did.
They were just biding their time. Like they were just like, yep, I eating beans and rice basically for the last 6 months to make it through, just so they can make the $4 million and peace out. It's like, so
this
sick.
Is fraud of the highest order.
Allegedly.
How is nobody looking in? How is no entity looking into this?
Right? Yeah, this is sketch. This is sketch big time. So whatever you do, don't buy the day before. Not to mention the
volunteer work. Come on, man. Working for exposure.
Wild, right? Imagine
on a game.
This is up there with, remember Blue Box Games? Or Blue Box Studios?
People who thought we're making that Metal Gear game?
Everyone thought it was like a fake studio that was actually like, it was going to be a Metal Gear game or like a PT game. And remember
like when it was a Kojima Shell studio?
Yeah. But remember when the PS5 launched, there was supposed to be some playable trailer, PT, that was coming out on the PS5. That was like 3 years ago. The studio's been radio silent.
Did people really think Konami was just going to forget and be like, yeah, Sony, you could use this? Huh? Brains. Yeah. We got to use them. We have to use them.
Yeah. But what's wild though is Hassan Kariman. Soak 7 has his name in there in the chat. That's the guy, like the head of the studio. Like, he was adamant. He's like, it's real. It's like, we're doing it. We're working on it. We're putting everything we can into it. And it's like, I don't think we've heard from him now in like 2.5 years. Like, it's been like forever.
That's because he's not working on this game anymore. No. He showed a little trailer with some feet walking across the floor, and that was the last thing
They literally got a PlayStation blog article written about him somehow. How did he manage that? Like, what kind of pull
to his scam level is 100.
That's all it is. What dirt did he have on Jim Ryan?
I don't want to know, and I hope it never sees the light of day.
What blackmail is going on over there?
Because he had something on somebody to get that kind of a hype of a trailer. No way.
Yeah. Oh man. I don't know. We'll see. Craziness. I can't believe it. Scams are everywhere.
Scam your employees out of money. Scam the investors out of money, and then disappear into the night.
I think we're doing this whole podcast thing wrong. What are we doing making a podcast? We need to start a shell game company and run off with $4 million.
We need to start robbing people. That's
apparently it's easy to do, and no one looks into it. No one cares. Oh man. All right, this last news story Hideo Kojima. Welcome to the Kojima Corner, by the way. We haven't done this bit in a long time.
I knew you weren't going to skip it.
Kojima Corner. With a K, that is. Just like, Mortal Kombat with a K. Kojima Corner with a K. That's it. The joke's not funny anymore. But Hideo Kojima connecting worlds.
You already got 2. No more Ks, K.
Oh, shoot. Hideo Kojima Connecting Worlds documentary premieres on Disney Plus spring 2024. That's right. Offering audiences a rare insight into the creative process of the illustrious video game designer at the heart of the documentary. Who wrote this article? The illustrious
Kojima.
Video game designer. It's an IGN article written by Kojima. Kojima, the man behind the Metal Gear Solid and Death Stranding franchises, announced on Twitter that Glenn Milner's Connecting Worlds documentary has found a home at Disney Plus and will release early next year. That's right, following on from its world premiere at the Tribeca Film Festival in New York in June 2023. So that's it. Go to Disney Plus. That's what I was referring to at the top of the show. He's going to be a Disney princess. I thought it was good. I thought, again, another joke. It's now not funny, but it was good. Give me some props, okay?
You have to try. Look,
you miss 100% of the shots you don't make,
And when you hit, though, you remember a few weeks back when what was it? We were talking about streaming on both Twitch and YouTube, podcasts on both places, and you said
streams akimbo.
Nice. Man,
it's a good one.
That was a home run joke, dude. You just got to keep swinging, and every blue moon you get a great one. That's a Hall of Fame joke right there.
Oh, so good. Oh, man. All right. Well, this whole stream and podcast has been an absolute crap show so far with OBS crashing. So that's it for the news story. Let's get through this ad and get through the end of the show before something catches on fire. How about that?
Go for it.
All right, this is the part of the show where I tell you to go over to patreon.com/supergamerboys, where you can support us starting at just $1 a month. That's right, $1, and you get episodes early and ad-free, such as this show and Super Later Boys, and also previous episodes of Super Gamer Book Club. All there, all ad-free, and all future episodes you'll get early. So think about supporting us at that $1 level. $5 a month, you can get previous perks as well as the show notes. You'll know exactly what we're going to be talking about here on the show. You can leave your own questions, comments, concerns right on the show notes, right on the doc. While we're doing the show, we will read those live on the air. So if you want to have your voice heard, if you have answers to the questions or thoughts on the news stories, go ahead and leave them there on the doc, and we would love to share them with the world. And then the $10 tier, you can be a Super Gamer sponsor, where you get shout outs at the top of each and every episode, as well as all those previous perks. And then the top dog tier, Patreon producer, $15 a month, and you can be basically get all those previous perks and pitch us segments here on the show. So if you want your voice heard, if you have an idea for a cool segment for a show, whatever it might be, you want to help be a part of it, kind of have our ear in that, then go ahead and support us there, and we'll give it the old college try. There hasn't been an idea yet that we haven't at least tried. Not to say they haven't been canceled very soon afterwards, but we do give them a shot every now and then. So think about supporting us over there, $15 a month, and we would love to see what you got for us. So secondly, here in the Patreon ad, it's actually not about Patreon, but it's about twitch.tv/thesupergamerboys. If you are watching live over on Twitch, you probably have a Prime Gaming sub. It's a free sub you get each and every month if you link your Amazon account to your Twitch account. Cost you $0. We get $5 out of it, so we'd very much appreciate that, and helps the show here, so we can buy games to talk about, or buy equipment, pay for hosting, whatever it might be. There's a whole bunch of back-end stuff that we need to pay for, and that helps pay for it. So think about supporting us by doing that, dropping that Prime Gaming sub, and you get access to our emotes that you can use all across the Twitchverse. And there's other cool things with Prime Gaming, which I could go on and on about, but then this just turns into a commercial about Prime Gaming, which I feel is weird because they're not paying us to do that. So give us the free money. That's all I'm asking for right now. Give me the money. All right. Well, that is it for the ad. Now, let's get back to the show. All right. We are back from the ad. And, well, Adrian, it's now time for me to ask you, what you playing?
So as far as larger titles, I have not been playing any of those. I was talking to you before the show. I recently got a new battery for my my Game Boy Advance, my SP.
Oh, yeah.
I had the same battery since, God, what was it? When did they come out? 2004. So it's almost 20 years old and almost.
Yeah, around there.
Yeah. No, it was earlier than that. I think like maybe 2003 when the SP came out, because it originally came out in 2001.
I got you. February 14th, 2003.
2000. So it is. So I had a 20-year-old battery that was holding maybe I would say at this point maybe 40% of a charge. So I got a brand new battery. Not only does it bring it back to its stock, game clock hours, but it's also 25% bigger. So I'm getting like max brightness. I'm getting like 8-9 hours depending on the game.
So
straight of playing. So I've been playing nothing but GBA, which means that I have been playing. Actually, I've been getting pretty deep into Fire Emblem again. It's been a long time since I've played it's not the first Fire Emblem, but it's the first Fire Emblem we ever got over here in the States. I remember being interested in this because of Smash Brothers, because Marth and Roy were from Fire Emblem, and nobody over here knew who they were.
Yeah.
But when you look at their trophies, they say that they're from Fire Emblem. And then next thing you know, I think maybe like a year and a half later, we hear about this game called Fire Emblem coming out. And you hear it's by the same people who made Advance Wars. Oh, I'm in. And the rest is history. So been deep into that.
I've yet to play a Fire Emblem game. I picked up 3 Houses on Switch because it was on sale.
What are you waiting for?
Earlier in the year, but so there was originally talks of us doing it as a Super Gamer Book Club game because Nate Fletcher wanted us to do it, but we never got around to doing it before the end of the season. Man, so whenever we do a season 3,
unreliable. Okay, like their team, unreliable.
Packer fans, shoot. So I mean, you're the boss of Super Gamer Book Club. So whenever it's time to start up season 3, whenever that time comes, that'll have to be one of the games in the slate there. And Nate said he would be in as soon as we announce it. He said he was.
Well, the one thing about that though, Garrett, is one run of that game is like 60 something hours.
Yeah, it's
and there's
so
3
big.
different routes. So
we'd almost have to plan it out where we each did like a separate route then. I feel like so we could all talk about it.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. Also, it's 60 hours, and you know how long it's going to take you and Nate.
Oh, it's good.
Especially because Nate has 15 kids.
Nate with his 15 kids over there.
Right. So
he's
that's
starting his own football team.
Right. But yeah, I don't know. I've just been really deep in my Game Boy Advance bag, and it's starting to worry me because we only have 20 days left in the year, and I got to get my numbers up in the backlog challenge. And I'm honestly like, do I let it go because I already won Fantasy Critics, so my name is on the board for this year?
Yeah, I mean,
don't know.
You're 4 away. Oh, OBS just crashed. Son of a gun. Punch a wall. I'm even running it in safe mode too. So I don't know what's going on here, but all right, we're back.
Sweet.
Yeah, Yeah, you're just 4 away. You're pretty. I mean, 5 technically to get in first. Like that's a lot. We only have a couple weeks left.
Right.
That's a lot of
5 games is crazy.
It's
unless
crazy.
they're like 5 Playdate games I can knock out real quick.
Right. Or you start just doing like the Greg Miller, got to get easy platinums. Like my name was.
No, man, I didn't even think I was gonna put 28 on the board. So honestly, I'm proud of that.
It's impressive. It is impressive. I thought I was gonna do much better. I started the year off really good. And then I just dropped off halfway there. I only have 7. I'm so far behind. I'm in 3rd place with 7. That's yeah. We got Hophead Ed has 3. Zech has 2. Kojima has 1, and El Chizo. That was my favorite. As Chizo said, he was like, I'm in. I'll join the backlog challenge, and then he has 0. Supposedly he has finished games, but he did not record any games with us, so. He has 0 on the board. Like,
so he has not finished any games.
He has not, at least
without
not officially. Without proof. No proof. Good stuff.
Yeah, man. I don't know. I feel like that's the wave I'm on for the rest of the year is just my Game Boy.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
The only thing I've played, I mean, I watched a bunch of movies. We talked about it in the Discord, but I finally caught up on some Jordan Peele movies since he's collaborating with Kojima. I felt like I had to, talk about that or get into that, figure out like, okay, like who is this guy? I know he's great. I knew him from his comedy days, but what about this more serious, horror thriller tone he's doing now? Incredible. I watched Get Out and I watched Us. Get Out was amazing. Not at all what I was expecting. Like the ending, I'm like, oh my gosh, wild.
Right.
And then Us, oh my gosh, that movie like kicks off immediately. Like Get Out is like a long play. Like you don't really get anything. Like Get Out, you don't really get anything until like the last like 30 minutes. Us is like within the first 30 minutes, all of a sudden it's like, what? Like what is going on? Like
stop.
And it doesn't stop till the end. And even the end, the twist. What? Like crazy. Such a good movie. I haven't watched Nope yet. That's the next one on my list. Also watch Uncut Gems, which was phenomenal. Was not expecting that. It was a tough movie to watch just because of like the subject matter. I'm like, oh man, like this is hard to watch. This is like watching a train wreck where you don't really want to watch, but you can't help yourself. You're like, this is so horrible. Like this man's life is just falling apart of his own doing. He's just an idiot.
But it also shows, like we were saying earlier, it shows Adam Sandler's range, and it shows that when he wants to act,
100%,
he can really, really act.
And that's what I came away with at the end. I'm like, oh my gosh, like the writers of this were phenomenal because like the writing itself, like it feels very much like, oh, this could have just been like someone following an actual person around in public. Like it felt very much like a very like realistic story with like just the way conversations happened. Like everything was very natural feeling. Not much of it felt artificial. It was like, oh, this was a very like, I even mentioned like how hectic and chaotic, like the first time you're introduced into his store, like right in the beginning of the movie, the first 20, 30 minutes, he stops into his shop. It's just like chaos. Everyone's talking over each other and they're arguing, they're calling each other names, all this stuff going back and forth, like fighting. I'm like, oh, this feels like just a standard conversation that I've probably seen before amongst family members, like this is a thing like I could see happening. So it's like the writing was on point. And then, his range, like, oh my gosh, Adam Sandler can be serious. And like he can really act his butt off. Like it was extremely impressive. It also though like kind of gave me the same feeling at the end as like watching Joker, where I'm like, it's a great movie. I never want to watch again because it's just such a sad, depressing movie.
I don't have to see it again.
Fantastic movie. Probably never watch it again. But and then as far as gaming though, I dove into Venba. I played just like 20 minutes of it maybe, which I think it's only like an hour and a half long game, so I'm almost halfway through
knock it out.
But it was when I was hanging out with the boys. Trudy was out, so I had to pay attention to them. I didn't want them like getting hurt or anything like that. I was supposed to be babysitting the boy, not babysitting, but hanging out with them, playing games with them. I'm like, I should put this down. But what I've played so far, I'm like, okay, this is really cool. I'm liking the story. Like obviously in the first like 20 minutes, 15 minutes, it's basically just like very basic, setting up the story, talking about like, oh, here's this couple. All right. Oh, they've had the kid. They're talking about like, oh, they announced a kid. There's the kid, because the whole thing is supposed to be about this kid and this family or whatever. So I've liked the setup so far. The game mechanics are cool. Basically, you're making these family recipes from your grandmother's. Well, at first you're playing as the daughter, so I guess it's your mother's recipe book, and then but like pieces are ripped out or missing or scratched out or like whatever, like smudged, and you've got to try to figure out these recipes without knowing the whole picture. You have the ingredients and you have your utensils, your tools in the kitchen. It's like, all right, try to make these recipes just like mom used to make them, or just like grandma used to make them. So it's a really cool concept, really this more chill, heartwarming story, which kind of just felt good to get into, because like I talked about on last week's episode with Kojima, if you missed that. But I was just like, this happens pretty much every year to me, where I just kind of get in a little bit of a gaming rut. I just feel like, it's hard to play games. Like I'm just like not feeling it 100%. Like that's why I've been I've been getting into like doing my Gundams more and whatnot, and like watching movies. Like I'm usually not a movie person, but I've watched 3 movies in the last week. That's more movies than I've watched in the past probably 9 months. Honestly, I don't watch a lot of movies, and I'm like, I'm just feeling like a different form of entertainment here. So not a lot of games. But Venba just felt very, it's different. It's not Metal Gear Solid 5, or it's not like, whatever. It's not Armored Core 6. It's this really chill, laid back, wholesome,
short
family short. Yeah, it's just like, just a really, really awesome story so far. What I've gotten, again, I'm only like 15 minutes in, but even in that 15 minutes, I'm like, oh man, like this is such a homey feel to it already. And I'm excited to get through it. And as part of the Wholesome Direct, they did a Wholesome bundle over on Humble Bundle. It was like $15, and I got like 6 games, and that was one of them. So after I finish this one, I'm excited to jump into Bear and Breakfast, it's called, which was one that I was really excited about. When they did the Wholesome Direct 2022, they announced Venba and Bear and Breakfast, and when they finally came out, I've had it on my wish list on Steam, but never picked it up. But yeah, finally decided when I saw this bundle to pull the trigger, and I'm excited to play Bear and Breakfast, and then even check out the other 4 games. I wasn't necessarily interested in them, but I own them now. So yeah,
why not?
I'm in more of like a cozy gaming mood, if that makes sense. Not looking for.
I want to double back on that Wholesome Direct page, then the one that we watched earlier this year. See if there might be something you're looking for.
Yeah, well, I mean, most of those games I have in my wish list on Steam. So like, whenever we watch those Wholesome Directs, I just have Steam open and wish list. So whenever things go on sale, I get the email, I get the text, I get everything. So yeah, I've been keeping an eye out for more for sure. But all right, well, that is it for the show. Let's see if we can get through the outro here before OBS crashes again and we lose the recording. So. We are so thankful that you've watched the show. Thank you for bearing with us. If you're watching live, if you're watching on YouTube and listening on podcast services later, good luck. This is going to be a friggin' Frankenstein podcast. It's going to be weird cuts. I'm sorry. I apologize. But thanks for bearing with us. If you want to support us, go over to patreon.com/supergamerboys, where you can support us starting at just $1 a month. We'd love it. We'd appreciate it. Think about supporting us over there, get some cool perks, and help us keep this show running. If you want some cool merch and also help support the show, go to sgbstore.com to get sweatshirts, t-shirts, socks, coffee mugs, stickers, whatever you're looking for. Got a lot of fun stuff over there. Make for some fun gifts. Shout out to Jack, Sriracha, and Yate for allowing us to use their music on our show. Remember, you can find them on Apple Music and Spotify. Links will be in the show description over on YouTube and on the podcast app. You can find us during the week at supergamerboys.com, Twitter and Instagram at supergamerboys. I am on Twitter and Instagram at gmorlang. Adrian, where can they find you at?
You can find me any and everywhere at Homeboy.
All right, that is it. Adrian, take us out quick before OBS pulls the plug.
I was getting ready to say, you got it. We respect the time. Folks, thank you for hanging out with us for another week. We appreciate all your support in whatever form you give it. It allows us to keep on going. And we will see you next time. And until next time, we are the Super Gamer Boys.
And we'll catch you on the flippity flop.
Okay, now end it before OBS crashes. Cut it off. Cut it off.
Ow. It's not working. Oh, we're not out.
No, don't play.